I'm that guy you saw on TV on TBS as King of the Nerds. I know.
You are the worst. Stop it with your ego trip.
All right, but seriously, today we're talking about
King of the lame.
I am
the
definitely king of the lame
people.
The people who can't.
Isn't that what nerds are?
Anyways, we're talking about games that are kind of clones of other games, and like you keep seeing the same game mechanics over and over. What are the pros? What are their cons? Honestly, I don't think it's that much of a problem. But how about you guys? Like, where do you stand on just like games that are just too similar? For example, Dante's Inferno and God of War.
Well, are we talking about games in different franchises? Because obviously a lot of the COD games are really similar.
Yeah.
And they're just like the same from year to
It would
year.
be, I think he's talking more along the lines of like Call of Duty and then modern, or Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
Medal of Honor, I think would be a more of an equivalent one. I personally think that it's not, as I've spoken on the one that you brought up, Dante's Inferno and God of War before, and I don't think it's a big deal. I think people get hung up because they have a favorite game in a genre, and then another game comes out in that genre, and then people get like confused and they're like, no, this game was way better, and they start saying like, oh, it's a clone of this. Like a lot of people would love to say like, oh, everything's a God of War clone, like Devil May Cry or Dante's Inferno, but in reality, like a game like Devil May Cry came out before God of War even existed, so it's kind of a silly thing to say, like everything's a God of War clone.
God of War just did it so well that it sticks in your mind. And personally, my feel on it is like, I don't care. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But also at the same time, don't it up the second time around.
Yeah, I agree. But the other thing is that you have a game like Dante's Inferno and people ignore how good it is because they just dismiss it, oh, it's a God of War clone. If you play through that game, you can maybe like the combat better in God of War. I would say the combat's probably a little more fluid. But Dante's Inferno, aesthetically, everything was cooler, I thought. So I don't think you should dismiss games just because they happen to be in the same genre. PlayStation All-Stars is another one. You can probably talk about that you didn't really like it that much. But
but the problem with PlayStation All-Stars wasn't that it was a clone.
Right.
My problem was with the mechanic, the meter mechanic, which I felt encouraged people to just throw down and spam attacks that build meter fast and not really protect their player and, you know, use the block and dodge as much as they should be. But I didn't have a problem. In fact, I felt they should have made it. Also, I had a problem with the single player. I felt they should have made it, if anything, more like Smash Brothers. Because I'd like to see a story. You saw when I was playing through Smash Brothers, they kind of have this epic story where all the characters kind of intertwine. That would have been cool to see in All-Stars, but obviously they didn't go that route.
Yeah.
Really, yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you. In most genres, most games, I don't see a lot of problem with clones. I think developers so far are doing a good job of differentiating their game and making enough difference where, yeah, it might be in the same genre, but it's still a good game.
It's just very important that if you're going to, core mechanics are great. If something works in one game, you run with it. If the audience likes it, take it. Just you have to build on it. You have to give them something more, which in the FPS genre, you don't see too much of that. For example, 007 Legends, which was done by Activision.
Oh yeah, that was a bad clone.
Yeah,
You're
like
right,
it was
I forgot
just
about
like,
that one.
all right, I'm playing Call of Duty
Duty
with some Bond characters.
Yeah.
Right.
So unless you can add more to it at the same time, like that's when the negative clone.
There
It
are
was
some
Call of
great-
Duty Bond Ops, I think is what they were
There are
calling
some
it.
great first-person shooters out there, though, that aren't like Modern Warfare shooters. Natural Selection is one that I've been playing a lot lately.
That's a cool one, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's the alien one, right?
Yeah, this one, it's aliens and Marines, and they fight each other and awesome stuff.
That's always a great concept,
Yeah.
which again is not an original concept,
No,
but as
but-
long as you can do it and have fun with it and do something that the audience hasn't seen, go for it.
And I don't think that there's I feel like developers get scared sometimes, like, well, I don't want to make another clone of this game. But if you have a good take on it, then I'd say roll with it, especially if you have like a cool story that you haven't seen before.
If the story is different, you can use a lot of the same mechanics as long as the story is different and good.
And it's the same reason why I enjoy Call of Duty single player, like year after year, even though the game is like way too similar as far as multiplayer goes, because it's a new story. It's usually cool. It's full of like these ridiculous action scenes that are like really fun to play through. So like even though people complain like, oh, Call of Duty is the same different year, it's still cool to play through the single player and see the new story.
Now, so we seem to be very pro, like game clones are good if you can do it right. What are the best examples that you guys can think of that started off as a game clone, but then they did it right, they gave the audience more? What's the best example?
Obviously, Saints Row.
Saints Row?
Yeah,
they
that is
took
a great
GTA and then they just went ridiculous with it. It's like, yeah, GTA, the core mechanics, open world, jacking cars, all awesome. You know what we need to add to that? Giant dildo bat.
Yeah.
And like giant plane that shoots lasers. They
And
kinda,
Japanese death game show.
Yeah.
And, like, juggling people in the
Yeah.
air with explosive bullets. And
Yeah,
that kind of
they're
stuff.
like, they took all the kind of fun stuff that people were doing in the game, and then they like took it to a whole nother level. So I think that's a good example of cloning gone right.
You said one of my favorites, Dante's Inferno. I thought that it had a different take on it. You had like the 2 different skill trees that you could kind of level up based on like how you progress through the game. I thought that was a good one. How about you?
Personally, I'm gonna actually go back a little bit to the PlayStation days. I think CTR, Crash Team Racing, was a great kart clone because everyone loved Mario Kart. Then Sony comes in and says, "All right, let's get a opportunity here to do our own kart racer," and it was really cool because they incorporated a story into it. Like you can drive to the different worlds, which race you want to do, and the items were a lot of fun. It was a good Mario Kart clone done with cooler characters, I think. But yeah, so that's all of us here talking about our opinions. Let's go ahead to you guys who came to us from the Twitter world. And we've got, first up is Dr. Strange 10, saying, "I think it's annoying mostly in the FPS genre because half of them are the same game." And
That one I think I can understand the most because people get tired of war shooters. There's so many of them, so I get that at least. There are good FPSs out there that aren't war shooters, but
I know that we kind of talk this game to death sometimes, but Bulletstorm was a great FPS game which brought a lot more to the table. It's like, all right, let's just go over the top with it and have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So, and next we have Mr. Xbox Taylor saying, "It annoys me if it's a really crap game stealing from a really good game, e.g. Captain America, Super Soldier, and Batman Arkham Asylum /City.
Ooh, yeah, Captain America, the new one was terrible.
Yeah, like I wanted, like they kind of explained how the game was going to be. They were taking mechanics from Arkham Asylum. I was like, all right, cool. Not a huge Marvel fan, but I can get behind this. Played it a little bit. I'm like, ooh.
well, that was the movie
Not
game,
what I wanted
right?
it
That
to
was
be.
the one that was based on the movie.
Well, it wasn't based on the movie. It just came out the same time as the movie.
I feel like I played it. It was okay. It wasn't great or anything.
You know what? He brings up an interesting point though, because I just remembered that game when he said it. Cloning might actually be more of a problem than we realize because a lot of these terrible clones just fly under our radar or are so
that's
instantly
true.
forgettable that we're like, oh, I can't even think of a lot of terrible clones. But yeah, that,
Yeah,
They exist.
That's a
In
good
fact,
one.
if there are any terrible clones that we missed, be sure to leave those in the comments as well.
For sure.
And moving forward with Maria Buscus says, sometimes games get inspired by other games and they make it somehow similar. That doesn't mean one franchise copied another.
I agree.
Now, well, yeah,
we've been
which is
saying.
definitely an important thing. And it just was more like, if something seems similar, don't write it off. Give the game a shot, an honest shot. Don't judge it too soon. Play it.
Don't be a fanboy.
Yeah, don't be a
Basically what
fanboy.
you're saying.
If you're gonna hate something, you have to hate it legitimately. So
Yes.
go all the way with your hate, people.
And now, guys, we got a brand new segment for you. See, here at the office, every now and then we get a heated debate going. We're gamers, we have strong opinions, and what I'd like to do is get one of those debates in a formal setting, give each of them 30 seconds, and then maybe like a little 15-second rebuttal, let them state their case, speak their piece, and we'll let you guys decide who the winner of the debate is. We're calling this PvP. So today's topic, something that's been hotly debated by these two, Mass Effect. Is it overrated? So
Yes.
Hinky says yes.
I do.
Jovenshire says no.
No.
We're gonna settle it right here on PvP. I got my timer here. I'm gonna give them each 30 seconds. And as I am the moderator, I get to choose who goes first. Let's go with Jovenshire. You're gonna go first. When I tell you go, you're gonna tell us why Mass Effect is not overrated and in fact awesome. Ready? Go.
Okay, Mass Effect isn't just a video game. It's an adventure that you get to live. We're talking 3 different games, your decisions, your character. You are Shepard, you're saving the galaxy. The relationships that you make in the first game go through to the second game and the third game. When you find like your teammates in the second game, you're like, dude, oh my god, we're besties. Let's go save the universe. Like you just have that connection with them, and no other game gives that to you. And the adventure is there, it's real, it's awesome, it's epic. It's the most epic game.
Oh, you came in 2 seconds under the wire.
All right.
Pretty impressive. All right, so Hinky, he made a pretty good case. You're gonna have to go against that. On your mark, get set, go!
All right, basically you said that you get to play as yourself through a series of games. So what you're saying is that it's an RPG. So what you've stated is this game is great because it's an RPG, which doesn't really qualify it as a good game. Now what is a game if not its gameplay? The story's important, yes, but the gameplay is more important. And the shooting mechanics in Mass Effect, the animations are really
10
stiff.
seconds left.
The animations are really stiff. The shooting itself is just not that exciting. The mechanics of the actual gameplay aren't that good.
Wow, he finished early too. Jovenshire, it's Sohinki saying that the game suffers from poor mechanics, a basic flaw that makes it overrated. You have 15 seconds to rebuttal starting now.
All right, if you want to talk about graphics, let's look at all the great video games of all time that weren't next gen. There were so many great games before graphics and good gameplay. Story makes a game great, not gameplay.
In only 12 seconds, the rebuttal made. So he wasn't really talking about graphics, but whatever.
Well,
Story makes a game great. Gameplay doesn't matter. So Hinky, rebuttal that starting now.
All right, so here's the problem with the story in Mass Effect is that they have this sort of epic problem where it's like the universe is in trouble, and then you focus most of your quests on like, man, I really need to bang Miranda. Got to get that bang in before we actually save the universe. That's really way more important than everyone else's lives. So yeah, the story itself, not that great.
So Hinky saying banging Miranda, not necessarily a good thing. Don't know how the people in YouTube land are going to feel about
I
that.
didn't say it's not a good thing.
I think it's wrong.
I said it's
You heard
not.
it here first.
I said
you guys, it's up to you to decide. No, the debate's over. You can speak no longer. You said your piece. The debate's over. And now, the winner will be decided, probably by the most thumbs up comment. So get on there, comment, tell us who you think won the debate.
I think you've twisted my words there.
And,
I feel like I've lost this based on twisted words.
Comment and chime in on what you think your opinion is. And this has been Gamer Nation. We're excited to see what you guys think.
So anyways, guys, that's all of us from here at Smosh Games. Thank you for watching Gamer Nation. Keep a lot.
Don't you dare throw your card. I will murder you if you throw that
guys,
card.
No.
Right out for you, because I know you. I want Lasercorn. I just want you to moderate everything in life.
I'm a good moderator. The presidential debates needed me.
It's just like Obama debating, and then he's just like, Obama,
Obama clearly advocating bombing homeless people.